Okay,
What's up,
introduce yourself to those who might not know who you are.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Bom5 Mw from the Boogie Down Bronx. Prez
Okay.
of Mad Writers, MW.
All right, what borough and neighborhood are you from?
The Boogie Down Bronx, which was known back in the days as the Burnt Down Bronx.
I read somewhere that you was raised on Hoe Street. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's Hoe Avenue.
Hoe Avenue.
H-O-E. That's by 174th Street by the Boys Club.
Okay, so being from the Bronx, you had to see a lot of graffiti. Was there a lot of stuff when you started?
Yeah, there was a lot of signature hits, but my first introduction to it was through graffiti gang. I was in a gang when I was young, the Savage Skulls. And when I got out of it, no, right before I got out of it, I had a friend I met through a mutual gang. You know, I was in the Savage Skulls, and he was in Savage No Man. He was an older cat. His name was Smiley 149.
Okay. Who are some of the artists that you seen up at the time?
Staff 161, MARKO, Smiley 149. I used to see Junior Big, Phase 2, LAVA1&2, Cool Breeze, Super Cool 223. You know, a lot of heads. Knee High 161. You know, so yeah, there was a lot of heads, a lot of tags I would see on the train. And you know, after I left the gang, I tried to find another way, and I met up with my other cousin, which was CHINO, and he's the one that showed me about graffiti, writing on the walls.
Okay, what year did you start writing?
In 75.
How did you come up with Bom5?
Well, my gang name was 174 Spider, and my first graffiti name was Spar 174, which I got from the movie Spartacus. I liked that movie a lot, and I liked the name. So it's like I wanted to be a warrior like him, but inside the writing world, you know. So, but after I wrote that for a minute, I wanted to write the name Bomb, because a lot of people started doing a lot of characters on the train, and I wanted a name with an O in it, so I could do my characters in the middle of the O. So I went to my cousin and I told my people, you know, I want to write Bomb, but they were like, yo, there's a guy I go to school with. He's the original Bomb from Lower East Side. So I went to the school, Art and Design, to meet up with him, and he told me he was going to slow down on the writing, that I can use the name. But I didn't feel good because he was B-O-M-B, and I was like, damn, man, that's cool, but I didn't feel good, you know? And I already knew Billy, and Billy's like, yo, just use it. You know, if an old timer give you his name, he gave you permission. But I still didn't feel right. I still wanted to be original. So I forgot about the name. But one day I was in the library with my girl at the time, and I'm looking through the dictionary, and I see in parentheses under the name Bomb is B-O-M. And I was wondering why, and I found out it's because Bomb, the other B is a silent B. So I decided to take B-O-M. And I wrote Bomb 76 for a while, and then I threw in the 5. And the 5 doesn't stand for no favorite number, not the 5 train that ran through my hood or anything. The 5 stood for because I like to fight. I was good at fighting, and this is what protected me in the hood. So 5 fingers make a fist, so Bom5 is here.
Okay, did you start off by yourself, or did you have a partner?
No, I started off learning through my cousin. And what he was teaching me, sometimes I would go with him to the bus yard. Sometimes I would just like, you know, just be writing and practicing myself, you know. I'd get a can, rack up a can, start walking around doing these, you know, kind of, I wouldn't say whack tag because they were kind of neat. It just didn't have too much style to it, you know.
Okay, what was the first crew you was in?
The first crew was my cousin's crew. It was MTA. It was called Masters Tagging Association, and then they changed it to Mad Transit Artists. You know?
Okay, what crews are you down with or represent at the moment?
Almost every crew that you can name, because I got down through all these crews that I name, or whatever crew I'm gonna name, I always got down from original member from the crew or the original Prez. So I got down with Ted Incorporated, Slick Incorporated, MG Boys, TNT, TC5, both TC5s, you know, and I represent my crew, Mad Riders. I got down with TBB, the Bronx Boys, you know. Yeah, a lot of crew, ACC, you know. I represent a lot of crews. BYB, I met Dean back in the days. He was a good brother, put me on too. And yeah, just a lot of crews. From the Bronx to Brooklyn to Queens, TPA, Brooklyn, MODs, MOGs, you know.
Okay, who was the first rider you met and when you started, and how did y'all meet?
Well, the first rider, like I said, was Smiley 149. But we were both in the gang, and I wasn't interested in graffiti yet. I was into art and stuff. I would do stuff for the Savage Skulls, you know. Paint my own jacket, or paint the clubhouse, paint along the Amtracks where we used to hang out, and, you know, do stuff. But, you know, it was mostly like that. I would take a bucket of paint and write my name up. But it was all for the gang, you know. Putting my name 174th with a bucket of regular paint and a paintbrush I took from the buildings we would just take it and just put them up on the wall and on the rocks around the neighborhoods, you know.
Okay. I assume you was in high school when you started. What high school did you go to, and what were some of the artists that went to the same school as you?
Yeah, I didn't start in high school. I started already when I was in junior high school. You could even say public school. It was way before. So you could say like when I was in public school, I picked up writing, you know. I picked up writing, and it really got good when I went to junior high school, you know. Meeting people and joining up with writers, and mostly not going to school, you know. I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of my public school, went to another public school, went to my junior high school in West Farms, and got kicked out and went to other school, 127. And, you know, by that time I already had style. Already felt, you know, I had my stuff put together.
Okay, what lines did you write on, and did you king any?
I didn't king nothing but myself. Meaning I kept myself a full-fledged writer, doing throw-ups, writing insides, doing pieces, going all over the borough to meet people and get down with crews, man, you know? So my main line was a 2 and a 5, but I wrote on any line that I could get to. And if I met someone cool and he was down to go, we go, you know? I didn't care if I met him in the city. He told me I'm from Brooklyn, man. I write on the J's, I write on the R's. I go to Brooklyn and I go meet up with him and we go rock over there. So I got down with a lot of Brooklyn crews and Queens crews, you know, just by being around a lot of different writers, you know?
Okay, what was your peak years on the subway?
Peak years, you could say from 77 to 80.
Okay, did you ever go to the writer's bench at 149th Street, and who are some of the artists that you always would see up there?
Yeah, well, different generation, different times. So, you know, early on, I would see FaZe at the bench, Stay High 149. He was a good brother, and he kind of put me down with EX-VANDALS. And I would see FaZe, I would see Creeper 170 there, I see Pearl 149, you know. Staff would come around, AJ would be there, you know, AJ 161. He's the one that put me down with Ted Incorporated. And a lot of writers from War, you know, a lot of Uptown writers would be there. You know, you got Dude 2, Billy would be there, Billy 167. And then later on, like late 70s, you know, you got V2 still coming up in there throughout all them years. V2, you got Mo, Tay, you got, you know, Scene TC5 coming up there. And yeah, just a lot of mix of writers, man. And you meet a bunch of writers because they had a little connection there. Even though Brooklyn writers would come there once in a while, you know, some other writers, but mostly Bronx writers would be there. Bronx and Harlem writers, you know.
Okay, did you ever have any beef with anyone, and how did it come about?
Yeah, it wasn't too much beef I had, you know. A lot of people respected me. I was cool with all the writers, you know. Never really had no beef, you know. Little beef I had, little time, was a little nonsense beef that got ended quick. and you didn't even know who it was because it was some guys that just hang down the block, you know. And the only real beef I had was one kid. He tried to write my name, BOM, with a 2. He wrote Bomb 2. So I caught him in the bench, and I bat him down, and he never wrote again after that. But he was a tall black cat, you know, trying to be disrespectful.
Okay, did you have any rivalries, and who was your biggest rivalry on the subway?
No rivalry. I got along with everybody, you know. I rode with the white riders, I rode with the Puerto Rican riders, you know, the black riders. I rode with everybody, you know. You know, I never really had no beef. I had really no beef, man.
Okay, what was your favorite layup to paint, and why?
Well, Esplanade was one of the best spots. Esplanade and Baychester I liked a lot, you know. And those were, Baychester was a layup yard, you know, a layup, and outdoor layup, and Esplanade was a layup too, you know, with 2 lanes, and they also had a stick out, meaning it was underground a little bit in the tunnel, and then it would come out to stick outs. And yeah, I liked them a lot, man. Those 2, the 6 tunnel was good, and 183rd, you know, was good, but mainly Esplanade was good, one of the best, and Baychester, you know. And the 2 yard was good too, but sometimes you had to be careful there.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you got a lot of stories stored up in your memory. What's your favorite raid or chase story?
Yeah, I don't know, one time we were in Brooklyn, me, Joe Nuts, and Crook and everybody, and well, this is a raid story, right? Yeah. Well, I had one in Canarsie Yard. We got raided in there. But I think the best one was in Esplanade again, when they came full force with like 20 cops deep in there to raid me, my boy Sid, Rush, Puerto Rican Rush, Race, Scan 149 was there, my brother Bane, Dan 167, Billy was there, and we were all riding. It was a bunch of us, and we were having a free-for-all in there. We were doing good, but I think we stood there a little too longer. It was already going past 2 hours in there. We were having a good time in there. And you gotta understand, Esplanade is located in an area where it's a white neighborhood, very clean, and if you hear certain noise too much or something, people will come, you know? So they came in there deep, and that was 78. And I was on top, you know, when they came in to raid us, everybody started running. They said, raid, bomb, yo, cops. So we all ran. I went between the car, I climbed on top of the train. I got on top of the train, and I started running, right? And as I'm looking at the cops coming, and they said, yo, there's a kid on top. I kept running, I started booking, so I was ahead on top of the trains. But the thing I didn't realize that day, when I was running, the layup didn't go out that far that day. So it stuck out maybe 6 cars out, and it was over. So what I did was, I didn't know what else to do, so I jumped off the train. And as I jumped off the top of the train, I bust my kneecap. But at the time, with the adrenaline and me hype, I just kept on going. I got away. And I wound up with a fucked up knee that gave me problems to this day, you know. I bust my kneecap. And it was all swollen up when we met at the park. We usually have a place to meet afterwards if we got raided or chased, you know.
Okay, a lot of people don't get mentioned in books, and they're left out of the history. Who are some of the guys that you think deserve credit that doesn't get the credit?
Well, a lot of people wrote and did their thing, man. You know, I feel a lot of people should have gave Billy 167 more props. You know, Chino Malo more props. You know, Chino Malo from MTA, Billy from Slick Incorporated, that was his crew. Pearl 149 needs to be mentioned more. And Cisco Kid was a writer too, which was a dope b-boy too and rapper. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of writers, man, that did their thing. You know, it might be for a short time or not, but they were there and they did their thing, you know? So.
Okay, now we're gonna enter your breakdancing part of the essay. How did you get put down with TBB?
Yeah, TBB, first of all, was a writing crew. You know, it was a writing crew up in West Farms, you know, along East Tremont and 180th Street. And it was a writing crew that started from my boy Cash, you know, Cash One and Shark. And these guys, we knew each other because I knew his older brother, Best 149, and was already down with my cousin, you know, MTA crew. So they became my friends. They saw their crew, and they put me down with the crew. I got down with the crew, you know. I met my boy that was down with them named Batch, and we used to bomb the. TBB was a bus killer. We used to kill the bus train yard in West Farms. And the thing with that was, after that, I was already a b-boy, and Batch was getting into b-boying too. And he wanted to change the crew, not really change the crew, but add more dancing to it, you know? And say, yo, we should do just more than right. We should do graffiti too. We should do b-boying. And Cash was like, nah, he don't want to do that, and Shark wasn't involved with it, so Batch said, all right, I want to do it, and he changed the crew to TBB Rockin' Crew. And it's kind of like Batch carried the crew from then on more. And I joined with him, and with my knowledge of b-boying from the Zulu Kings and FaZe and El Dorado Mike, I brought my style to the crew, and Batch and my other boy T-Rock, he learned from, you know, we just kept it going on. So that was the first all Latino really b-boy crew, you know.
Okay, this next question is controversial, but it's public record. I've heard some crazy stories about BAM over the recent years, and you being a b-boy. Did you see any of the alleged incidents while you was around?
Oh, about BAMBAATAA?
Yeah.
Nah, BAMBAATAA, he was my boy, man. I knew Bam for years, you know. I met him when I got into hip-hop in '75, as I got, you know, the word hip-hop wasn't around, but, you know, going to events and jam. Because, like I told you, I joined my first b-boy crew was Zulu Kings. And they were at Bronxdale Projects. And when I would go in Bronxdale Projects, we had a friend over there, and learning about these events and this b-boy thing going on. I started learning from Cisco Kid, you know, and El Dorado Mike. But I also, you know, Disco King Marion used to run the park at 123, and that's where I first went to the jams there and started meeting BAMBAATAA and Jazzy J from Bronx River. They first started off with them, you know, with DJ Tex. And Charlie Rock was there from the Zulu King, the first 11 Zulu Kings. So that's where I met Bam. And when Bam made Zulu Nation, I got down with Zulu Nation through him. And he was always a good brother, man. I never saw nothing bad come from him. I never saw nothing. I even remember him having a girl at one time, you know? So, you know, we were friends forever. He never did nothing to me. I never saw anything around me. I knew that kid B Stinger, you know? I knew everybody. I was Zulu, man. So we all know each other. We're family. But I never saw any of that, you know? And even in the Roxy days, you know? People were talking stuff, but hey, I never saw it. He never did nothing to me, you know? He respected me. I respected him, you know? And we jammed together. I was down with Zulu Nation. I also had a crew in Zulu Nation called Soundmaster Disco. I would DJ with them. They were all my brothers. And yeah, you know? Okay. And I'm sorry to everybody that got, you know, that something happened to them through Bam. Bam was a real good brother, man. I give him a lot for what he did for hip-hop. You know, with him in his personal life, I don't know what he was doing, you know, and, you know, I just say, you know, they shouldn't blame Zulu Nation because Zulu Nation shouldn't take the fall for everything Bam did, if he did any of that shit, you know? So, I'm just saying, I'm Zulu, man. I'm still Zulu, you know? We're here for real hip-hop, to take care of everybody. And we're offended by anything like that, so, you know, just keep it moving on.
We covered a lot today. Is there anything you want to touch up that we have yet to discover?
Nah, I was a breakbeat DJ, you know. I knew a lot of good brothers in this game, man. A lot of writing. You know, I help a lot of crews learn. I taught a lot of writers, man. I taught a lot of writers. The first one, you know, different writers. Rush, Sid, you know, my own brother. You know, I taught a lot of writers, even a lot of Tats members, you know. I helped them out with style. They never saw b-boy style. You know, I had that b-boy dress style in school, in high school. You know, so I had my pants, Nice to see me with my jeans, with b-boy characters, my jacket. I had that b-boy attitude. I was a real b-boy from the Bronx, you know? I'm rocking, DJing, and writing, yo. You know? And much respect to all the crews out there. I got mad love for everybody, man, you know? It's all about growing and keeping going, you know? It's not about hating, you know?
Okay,
That's what people gotta realize, man. Yeah, you start off as a toy, you start off like, you know, like in anything, you start off, man. Basketball, sports, anything you do in life, man. You ain't gonna be that great. Yeah, you can have a skill, but you ain't gonna be that great until you fully put all your skill, all your, you know, potentials into it. So I'm just saying, you know, everybody that wants to get into it, you can get into it. But to be a real writer, you gotta go out there and it's illegal. And that's the real thing about graffiti. You gotta do it illegal, man, to be considered a real writer, you know. I'm not promoting it, I'm just saying how it is, B. You know? Much love to all writers around the world. What's up, B?
Any shout outs to family members or friends?
Yeah, I want to shout out my cousin Ruff had passed away. He's my cousin Chino Malo's brother. He's my my other cousin. And he passed away, and he used to write Rib 1, or AKA Rub, you know, Mr. Ruff. And he was MTA. And I want to shout out Billy 167, the Supreme Style Master, Slick Incorporated Prez, passed away. Smiley 149 passed away. I want to give love to my boy Simon 007, still locked up. We waiting for you to come home. Also AJ 161, come home, my brothers, man. You know, we wish you to come back. And rest in peace to all other writers that passed away. And to all the writers around, let's keep it real and keep the history going, yo. Let's write on.
All right,
Peace.
Bom5.
One love.